You made it past the initial $3,000 barrier that you need to unlock VTSAX on Vanguard. Now you may be wondering, how much should I invest after that? You can invest as little as $1 up to infinity. I don't know what the top is, but after you pay that initial $3,000 to unlock VTSAX, your investments can be as little as $1. So I ran a Monte Carlo simulation. So a Monte Carlo simulation it's like an experiment that runs thousands or hundreds of simulations to tell you exactly what the predicted outcome is going to be. The more simulations you run, the more accurate it becomes. So it's a very powerful statistical tool in order to determine probability and to determine the end outcome. And these work very well with stocks because they have a history of data. So I am going to be as conservative as possible. You've figured out how to get that $3,000 into Vanguard. Let's just invest $1 a day. And I think that most people listening to this can do that. Just $1 a day. So that's $30 a month, $1 a day. So we change our contribution amount to 30. We change the contribution frequency to monthly. And we're going to do a period of 25 years. So if you're 20 years old, this is what it's going to look like when you're 45. If you're 30, it's going to be 55, and so on. Time in the game is the most important thing. So once we run the simulation, we're going to put VTSAX as the portfolio asset. We can just scroll down to the graphs. They're going to tell us everything that we need to know. And I just want to highlight the histogram here. So what we did was the $3,000 initial investment, $30 monthly contribution over a 25-year period. It's not a lot of money. The initial investment was probably a lot of money, that $3,000, but $1 a day, I think a lot of people can do that. Most people can do that. So what the Monte Carlo simulation is saying is that there are these buckets. They ran the simulation multiple times. These buckets show you exactly where your balance is likely to be. The smaller the bar is on the histogram, the less likely the probability. So what we're going to see is the common end balance is somewhere between $40,000 and $60,000 because you see the highest frequency within this histogram between $40,000 and $60,000. So we're just going to split it right in the middle and say $50,000 is likely going to be your end balance for just investing $1 a day. $50,000. So if you do $2, think about how that's going to augment your portfolio in the long run. And this is taking into consideration that there might be multiple up years in the stock market and multiple down years in the stock market. That's why it's a Monte Carlo simulation. And there are chances that your portfolio could be much higher than this, all the way up to $220,000, depending on if the stock market goes insane. We're doing the most conservative at $50,000, but there's a possibility that you have a $100,000 portfolio after this. Not likely, but there is a possibility. I will include the link to run your own Monte Carlo simulation in the description below, but the time to start investing is today, because that 25-year timer starts the day that you start investing. Open up your Vanguard account and start investing in VTSAX.